bad.
I got no idea what we're doing. Where are we?
Here we go. Live from a Glass Lewis house opinion salad with extra anchovies. It's an all-new, terrific Tuesday edition of Business Pants.
Whoa.
Joined by analyst Matt Moscardi. What's that?
Anchovies are an opinion.
That's true,
anchovies.
actually. And extra anchovies is
That's like a
mega
double opinion. Yeah.
On today's research-driven ESG roast called October 21st, 2025, The Bad Game. I feel like everything's a bad game now.
This is where I rate a headline on a 0 to 10 scale about how bad the headline is.
Like, we're kind of on a rotation of our Tuesday shows. We do some games, we do some quizzes. I can't help it. This is just what's next, the bad game. Yes, that's true.
I believe you can, by definition, help it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's your schedule. Our
show today is being sponsored by freefloatanalytics.com, the only platform measuring board power connections performance for free.
If we're honest, it should be sponsored by someone else at this point, though. Like they've been a sponsor for a while.
What about the Soros Foundation? I would love that.
That'd be fine. I'd also be fine with like the Cato Institute. I really don't care. I will take your money.
You're ready to sell out.
Yeah, just sell out right now, baby. Take the cash.
What about Creed, the rock and roll band Creed? Would you take that?
I'm more of a Kid Rock than a Creed.
Oh, God.
It's like you gotta have really good taste.
You ready for the bad game?
I think imagine.
You already explained what the bad game was, right?
Let's jump right in because it doesn't get done fast enough, the bad game.
I broke it into categories. I always do this with the bad game. ESG, because this is what we do. ESG. There's also a speed round at the end, but let's start with E. Here's the headline: Scientists worry about biggest CO2 spike ever recorded.
I don't know how to grade this on a 0 to 10 scale.
There's also another headline this morning about how Democrats basically have stopped talking about the climate crisis.
Yeah,
maybe doesn't poll well or something stupid like that.
I guess what are we doing? Someone in Kentucky didn't like it, and so they stopped talking about it.
Yeah,
I like the idea that if we because someone doesn't like it, then we should not address it anymore.
Well, the scientists are still they're still worrying about it.
There's like 4 of them left.
That's not true.
I think scientists don't they in this country don't they have to now they have to write it on a napkin and hand it to somebody in order to get their science out? In a
clandestine fashion, in a bathroom,
really
in a subway station.
Yeah, I did see some graffiti saying largest CO2 spike ever. This is a 10 out of 1. This is a 1,000 out of 10. This is horrible.
Okay, let's move on. Montana court dismisses youth-led lawsuit challenging Trump executive orders boosting fossil fuels. Here's what the court said. The court found it plausible that the Trump administration's efforts to increase the extraction and use of fossil fuels and other actions that suppress climate science and undermine renewable energy could cause grave harm to the health and well-being of children. It determined that it is powerless to stop them, as that would tread into the realm of policymaking reserved for Congress. I mean, God damn it.
We're powerless.
What a wimp out. I mean, Jesus.
What is the point of the court if they can't? What do you do? What's your point? I don't understand.
It's plausible that it could cause grave harm to the health and well-being of children, and the court can't figure out a clever maneuver around. They're lawyers. Figure it out. What are we doing here? If we're not protecting the health and well-being of children, what are we doing? I don't even know what's real anymore. What's important?
But wouldn't that set a precedent that, I could
set a new precedent? Yeah,
I could hand a gun to a child. I could just they didn't buy it. I could hand it to them loaded, and if they shot themselves, I'd say, well, I'm powerless to stop it because Congress didn't pass a law that said you can't hand a gun to a child.
Yeah. It's checks and balances.
Do we need a specific law for everything that causes harm?
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
Why don't we just let Elon Musk decide everything? What,
I'm
give
going to
me a
ask
score.
Ann
Give me a
Lipton
score.
about this, actually. Ann Lipton of the Shareholder Primacy podcast is a securities lawyer. I know this isn't her space, but maybe she has a friend who can tell us why this is dumb.
Ann Lipton is always quoted in the Deal Book in the New York Times. Do you think she'd make time for you?
Well, I have her direct email address, and I can just say, your mic wasn't working last show. Can you talk to me?
Yeah,
And
I know
then
you.
that-
I know
trick her.
you're the producer of her podcast and all that. But will she give you time?
You know, not to toot my own horn here, but
Go ahead.
We'll produce this show. I mean, you
Yeah.
do most of the you do like 85 to 90% of the content, but I produce it.
Our one listener relies on me.
Yeah, they thank us deeply. I produce the Shareholder Primacy show. I produce that. I make sure that goes out. I also do all the data for. I'm a free flow analytics helper who
Are you
does all the
feeling
data for that.
unappreciated? Is that what's happening?
I mean, like, when we ask for a sponsor, it's not like they call us up. When we say, like, we've got
That's
the
true.
data to fix your SEC,
That's
the
true.
SEC is going to ban shareholder proposals. I haven't gotten a call yet saying, like, we need to buy all your data because we need to vote against
Yeah, that's
directors.
true.
Where's that call?
Did you
Like,
change like 20 diapers this morning and no one thanked you? Is that what happened? That's how I feel.
that,
All right, give me a score.
every day I feel like I change
Give me a
20
score.
diapers a morning. This is a 10. It's a 10.
Oh,
it's
Jesus.
the best
Okay,
bad.
This is a bad start. All right. International deal to cut shipping emissions falters under U.S. pressure. They were deliberating on adopting regulations to move the shipping industry away from fossil fuels to slash emissions. But Trump in Saudi Arabia and other countries vowed to fight any global tax on shipping emissions. Yay, oil!
I don't. This was inevitable. This one's less bad because I mean, look. The fact
How about
is,
the fact that the MAGA world is like Saudi Arabia and the Trump family? Like that's what the MAGA world voted for. Like what are we doing?
that's literally who it is, right? Like
Right.
they literally are making deals with Saudi Arabia. Like,
we're even
that's who's
sending
left.
our dopey comedians over there now to make them laugh.
And Argentina apparently, and
Yeah.
and
Oh,
and we're saying to Argentina, like, you know, if you vote for a liberal, we are going to take back our $20 billion.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the whole America First nonsense, but you don't
much
care
for
about
that.
this one? What's
This
the
one's
score?
I care less about. I'm going to give it a 6 because that's
All
not
right.
that I care nothing about it, but I care less.
Let's move over to the S category, social, environmental, social, and governance. Right, that's ESG. I got a lot of good ones this week. How about this weird one? And I know you could take this as good, but I'm just looking at it like, is this what we've come to in the culture? Like we're waiting for the billionaires and CEOs to help us out? Billionaire boss of South Korean construction giant is encouraging his workers to have children with a $75,000 bonus. This is Lee Joong-keun, the founder and chair of Booyoung Group. And not only paying them, but trying to ease their financial burden on parents by helping them out he wants to help them out with college tuition for employees' children, medical expenses for direct family members, and child allowances. I mean, the CEOs, I know this is good, but to me, this is like a slippery slope. Like, are the CEOs just taking over? Like, are they becoming kings?
I'm not going to go deep down this rabbit hole that I went down this morning, which is I found this thing on the Dark Enlightenment. I was like somebody popped in this investor popped who wrote this book called The Network State. There is an entire. And this is where Peter Thiel and Mark Andreessen and members of the Trump administration, they're getting a lot of their ideas, or at least they're admitting that they're getting a lot of their ideas from this guy, Charles Yarvin or Yavin.
You're not making me feel good. I'm not feeling good.
I went down this rabbit hole in which effectively the idea is like authoritarian cities led by a CEO.
Wait, can I just say that this was one of my first thoughts when we started these shows
years ago.
This was the one thing that I was worried about, like creeping into it. And I probably said in 2064, but we've accelerated this timeline.
I think there's a real thing where we're now looking. The reason why we're seeing a trend, and we just put out a zine, we're seeing a trend of billionaires saying more. Like, it's constant headlines about billionaire says. Like,
And
it used to be a joke that Jamie Dimon says.
Yeah,
Now
it's all of them.
Now it's all of them.
And
You just see everyone.
And what's worse is that they've throttled regulation makers. They've taken over the people who regulate. They've completely bought them.
Dismantled the regulation. They've effectively said, like, don't go to college, work yourself to the bone. Like, they're supplanting their ideas on any sort of like democratic ideals or liberal ideals, or even like conservative ideals of like, it's not like a farmer wants to go out and fucking work 90 hours a week in the field. Like, people want to go home, have families, have kids, like have regular lives.
I think that's an important point. This has never been a battle of like liberal versus conservative in this country.
It's a battle of money versus none.
Yes. In fact, the liberals and conservatives in this country have almost everything in common.
When it comes to this, for sure.
Yeah.
And this is another example.
It's a class struggle. It's
just in South Korea, where you have a billionaire who's effectively social engineering in his company. He's telling his employees,
this is weird.
Have more babies. I will take care of them.
This is weird.
Isn't that really incredibly patriarchal and gross? And like, why does a billionaire have so much money that he can afford to pay everyone in his company to have another baby?
I don't know.
$75,000.
I don't know what's happening.
You have so much money that you can afford to do that. Maybe you should just give all your employees $75,000 extra and extra day off a week, and watch as they go out and have babies, because they have more time and they're not so burnt out and don't hate their lives. If your goal is that, pay people.
Get together
like
with
normal.
all the CEOs in the country and work with the government to pay people adequately, and then people will be they'll be more relaxed. They won't be living paycheck to paycheck. They'll go out to the movies. They'll come home and they'll have sex with their partners, and they'll just have babies naturally. Like people do when they're comfortable and happy. That's how it works.
You know why we had so many babies like in the 1800s? Because we had no electricity.
No
internet.
Now you're saying there's no, because there was no Netflix. People were making more babies.
We were working. We were working
right, actually.
120 hours a week, because when it got dark, you couldn't work. Right?
Plus, there was no other way to keep warm at night. Right.
You basically had sex all the time because there was nothing else to do.
It was cold. It was cold.
It was cold. You stay warm. It's
it's a fair point.
I don't know, man.
All right, give me a score on this.
This is a 10, and it's a 10 because this is the future that people don't know that we're getting, but it's coming, right?
I thought you were going to shoot me down on that one.
No, because this is a South Korean company. We look at it and we're like, oh, that's kind of cute and fun or whatever. But this is not the first time it's happened, and it happens in the U.S. to a lesser extent. But you wait until effectively billionaires and now trillionaires are going to their employees and saying, I want you to do this. In order to do it, I'll give you $100,000. And they social engineer you. I want you to have these thoughts. Go on the internet and write these things down. Go on your social media and talk about this. Here's a $50,000 bonus to do it. Here's $5,000. Here's $10,000. You're so poor, you will do whatever I need you to do if I just throw you $1.
Yeah,
because you're so poor.
Because you're really getting into the situation where you're just gonna have kids for the cash, right?
Forget kids. Like, where? It starts at kids, but why does it stop at kids? Why isn't it like, go vote for this politician? I know, like, legally you're not supposed to do this, but says who? There's nobody enforcing this anymore.
Wasn't Musk offering like a lottery in Pennsylvania? If you
of course.
Signed a certain
we're past laws, which means if Musk goes to his employees and says, I will offer every one of you a $10,000 bonus to vote for Trump third term.
Musk is also a big proponent of this, like, we need more kids, we need more people.
It is really weird. Go down the rabbit hole. Look up Charles Yarvin
gotta move on.
This is horrible, though. Horrible.
Oh, I didn't think that would rally you up so much. Let's do an old-fashioned, easy one in our S category, ESG, social. Nestle is laying off over 16,000 employees under its new CEO and says a key motivator is automation. 16,000? That seems like a lot.
You know what I just saw this morning? I just saw
a Kit Kat?
they're trying to get rid of basically every Amazon employee too. Like they're just using
God.
robots to like load up your trucks and
Oh.
like so. Amazon's a massive employer.
What are we going to have? We're going to have like idle men like wandering the streets without jobs.
You're gonna have idle humans.
The women
Like,
I'm okay with. It's the men I'm afraid. When men are bored, I fear for society.
yeah, as you should. But yeah, this is what they said. Oh, that's not what we're trying to do here with AI and robots. No, everyone will benefit from AI. Remember when they said everyone would benefit from AI 2 years ago, and now we're seeing that no one's benefiting from AI.
In fact, who's everyone said that? A couple of college dropouts told you that?
Yeah, that's true.
They surmised.
there's reports about cities that are having brownouts and blackouts because the energy used for AI.
Wait on AI. I have an AI speed round at the end.
I mean, like water shortages and now workers out of work. Right?
This is bad. Left out of this, maybe this will help you, is that the share prices went up immediately after this news was announced.
Oh, well, thank God. I'm going to give this a 7.
Yeah, I guess the only good news here is, Nestle creates a lot of junk food. Maybe we don't need so much junk food.
Maybe we don't need any junk food. I'm just going to eat kale.
How about this one? Gen Z's misery is real. Most workers in this economy lack a voice and are stuck in low-quality jobs, a massive Gates-backed study finds.
So I don't like that they wrote Gates-backed study.
Oh, is that so you dismiss it? Like,
yeah, that's so you're like, oh, the wokies said that they're having a shit time. Of course the wokes would say that, wouldn't they?
Even using the word massive makes it sound like it's like overreach, right? It's like this evil overreach.
I mean, I'm sure it is a Gates-backed study or whatever. Gates Foundation.
You know what? It is a fair point. We complain about headline writers. This is from Fortune. This is a story by Nick Lichtenberg, business editor at Fortune. We complain all the time that they won't even name the CEO in the headline. Gates is in the headline, and in the very first sentence, they cite the Gates Foundation again in the very first sentence of the body of the article. Like, why is that so goddamn important?
Why is that the thing? And not only that, like, why is that the thing in the first sentence next to a landmark study? Because you know what you did to that landmark study? You turned it into a divisive political study. You
painted it with a giant Soros brush.
Yeah, that's right. Like now it's like all the libertarians can be like, oh, the libs are trying to like.
Yeah, Gen Z, they're happy. Everyone's fine. AI is going to make everyone happy.
Gen
all right,
Z,
give me a score. Yeah.
Do me a favor. Vote your proxies.
Ooh,
because you want to get rid of CEO kings. You don't like the way the economy. You have a voice in the economy if you have one share of stock. I mean, you're going to vote with that share.
If you think about it, if that generation started just this incredible movement to focus on the alternative democracy, just an all-out focus.
If every one of them voted
on every brand that they support, that they consume, that they love, if they just this unending focus, it would change things. It would. Of
course, it would. Of course, it would. Really, if people knew the power that they actually had, they could use it.
And you know what? And you know what the odd thing is? I think they would enjoy it. I think they would enjoy having a say. I think they would enjoy looking at the pay and the shareholder proposals. I think they would find it entertaining, maybe not as much as like a Netflix show about some woman getting like violently assaulted by a serial killer, but whatever. I digress.
If you go to freeflowanalytics.com and you look up the board of some company that you don't like or you think is like doing something wrong or whatever, and then you look
like Target.
You actually Google the board members.
Yeah.
You actually realize like, oh my God, how did this person get on this board? Yeah. How come how are they even qualified to do this? I'm going to give this feels like a 8. I'm going to give it an 8. Okay,
moving on. 2 from Mark Benioff, and then we'll move over to our governance category. Mark Benioff says Trump should send guard troops to San Francisco.
Yeah, you know what? This isn't like bad. This is just asshole behavior. This is just dumb. I'm going to give it a 5. Yeah.
Wow. And then Salesforce. Salesforce, of course, the company run by Mark Benioff, offers its services to boost Trump's immigration force. That's ICE.
Same thing. I watched Benioff like on stage at Dreamforce interviewing David Sachs for 45 minutes.
Must be nice to be white and rich. Yeah.
I literally wanted to bore my eyes out with a spoon. It was like glorifying David Sachs's move to the right. And during the conversation, it was just a lot of like, we're best friends with Elon Musk. Like you worked with Peter Thiel. What's he like? He sounds amazing. It was a lot of dick sucking between.
What does your billionaire
billionaires.
bunker smell like?
Yeah, it was really weird. Like, which Yankee candles did you get for your antechamber before your billionaire bedroom? Like, it was really gross and dumb, and there was no real ideas. It was a lot of the same stuff. It was a lot of China is the enemy, and if the U.S. doesn't do something, China will win. And why are we afraid of China again? Is never explained. What are you so petrified of China for? What is the China phobia about?
It's just a Cold War tactic to control people.
But it used to be, they were like, China's an authoritarian regime, and if they take over, then the world becomes authoritarian. And meanwhile, the U.S. is an authoritarian regime, and like, so what are we trading here?
You know what always bothers me is how easy it is to Google something about a CEO and find headlines like this. Mark Benioff quietly bought land worth $100 million in Hawaii. Why is it always Hawaii? Why are you always going closer to China?
Well, Hawaii, you know what Hawaii is? It represents, we're not close enough to the United States that the U.S. really cares about it, but we're not in China either, right?
Okay.
Like, we're still in the U.S. and can use the dollar.
Macau. All right, did you give me a score? Or you gave me a 5?
It's a 5. It's a 5.
Let's move over to governance.
Just shut up.
We got some good ones in the governance category. Glass Lewis in the news. Glass Lewis to end shareholder vote recommendations amid ESG criticism. I mean, it begs the question, what are you doing, Glass Lewis?
Look,
and remember, before you say something, no one was ever beholden to their recommendations. There's no like contract they sign where it's like, we're going to handcuff you to a hot radiator in Queens and you have to vote your proxy this way according to our house view. Like there's no like weird torture tactics.
You don't know that didn't happen.
That's true. I actually don't know, but I like the idea of it. I'm imagining this really hot radiator in like Jackson Heights.
You're
like sweating.
And Look, I love this. This is not a 10. This is a 0. Oh, I love this for some simple reasons. First of all, Glass Lewis announced that 55% of U.S. investors actually did just listen to what they said.
Which is way higher than their European customers. Way higher.
Which is way higher
almost
than
double.
Almost double, yes. Europeans actually have opinions.
Yeah, I guess not only Europeans, they take Glass Lewis's opinion, but they also do some of their own work. They actually do some of their own due diligence, right?
Which is interesting because then you wonder, like, why do Europeans buying Glass Lewis's stuff if they literally don't have to listen to anything they say? But number 2, the average vote for a shareholder proposal was in the 10 to 20% range, depending on who put the proposal up. Occasionally, a governance proposal would actually come up, but the majority of investors, particularly in the U.S., said that the thing they cared about was the shareholder proposals. They don't vote against directors. They don't care about board composition. In fact, a third of investors said they even look at board composition as a material issue, which means, and the vote bears that out, like 96%, average for vote bears that out. No one cares about who the directors are. So Glass Lewis is ending their shareholder vote recommendations for things that investors have largely, like, I don't understand that in a way, they're sort of right because investors just say yes to every director and no to every shareholder proposal, regardless of what it is.
Listen, you were talking about
what do we need the recommendations for? They might be right.
You were talking about this in pre-production. When are ratings agencies in this field? When are they going to just stop rating companies? Why are we rating companies? Is there a bigger opinion than those? I mean, I know there's a lot of hard work behind these ratings. I know there's a lot of great hard data too, like
you're talking about ESG ratings.
A lot of quantitative data, some qualitative, but the whole grade itself is, it's pretty qualitative, is it not? I mean, it is sort of an opinion.
It's definitely an opinion.
Any grade, in any field is kind of an opinion, no?
I mean, not only is it an opinion, but it's not limited to ESG ratings. It's credit ratings. It's analyst decisions, buy, sell, hold. Those are all subjective opinions.
Yes.
They're not scientific facts.
And there's always
not provable.
There's always a house view that is ostensibly trying to benefit themselves, right? I suppose. I don't even know.
But now investors, what Glass Lewis has done, if this is like the tip of the spear in removing opinions from capital markets, is now investors have to make their own opinions.
Oh, no.
Or basically give up all shareholder rights.
They could come to freeflowanalytics.com.
Exactly. This is the most self-serving zero ever because now you have a reason to go get director data that you never had a reason to get before. Get it from freeflowanalytics.com.
Let's stay on the topic. Here's the headline. Sad, if not damning, Cathie Wood blasts the proxy firms who say Elon Musk's $1 trillion pay package is just too rich. She said index funds do no fundamental research, yet dominate institutional voting. Index-based investing is a form of socialism. Our investment system is broken.
Wait, what? But why is she talking about the proxy firms said vote against it, not the index funds?
Because the index funds are listening to the proxy firms, I suppose, right? Because they're passively...
But didn't we just cover that like half of investors listen, but the other half don't?
Not to mention that Cathie, I know it's hard for you to pay attention, even though this is like literally your field.
Your job, yeah.
You're constantly in the news with your dopey opinions. But nothing gets rejected. No proposals that matter ever get voted down. And when they do, like when a pay vote fails... maybe they tweak the policy, but nothing actually. The executives still get paid. And then even when high-profile directors get voted out, like Jay Hogue at Netflix, they stay on the boards.
They stay on the board.
Nothing happens, Cathie. It's almost as if you don't understand what you're talking about. Is really my perspective.
I'm shocked that Cathie Wood would come out and not understand something and talk about it.
Just yet more political theater because, of course, she had to drop the use of the word socialism there, which is misplaced. But what do you think about this? Is this bad?
Well, like which part? Cathie Wood? Cathie Wood complaining is nothing burger. That's
the whole thing. The whole fight over his pay. The anger.
Look,
the
there's
anger
only one thing to know about his pay. Because right now the focus is on how do you vote for this pay proposal, right? I haven't seen a single piece coming out of a research shop coming out anywhere that says, if you don't give him this pay, he's worth $1.7 trillion when he hits all these goals anyway. I don't understand why he needs... They're calling it a $1 trillion pay package. It's an extra $1 trillion pay package. It's not $1 trillion. They're not paying him $1 trillion. They're giving him an extra $1 trillion because he owns 16 or 19% of the stock as it is. He will be worth
the other sad
more than $1 trillion if he does the things.
The other sad part is that they pretend that this gives him incentive to stay at Tesla. But how? Why?
How much fucking incentive?
But first of all, he's already the richest man in the world. Second of all, if he found a more lucrative opportunity, he would just take that. He's not going to stay at Tesla if he found something better. I mean,
he will be worth $1.7 trillion if he doesn't get paid. What more incentive do you need?
I don't want to talk
another
about,
trillion to do his job.
I don't want to talk about Elon. Tell me about what you think about her perspective on shareholder voting.
It's not bad. It's dumb. It's like okay. I'm going to give it a 2 because for dumbness.
Moving on. CEOs are turning into influencers. How's that for good governance? Do we want our CEOs as influencers?
Yeah, we already talked about this.
Give me a score.
I'm going to give it a 3. They're not influencing me anyway.
And news out of Japan. We talked about this a few weeks ago. Sanae Takaichi elected as Japan's first female prime minister. Now, I'm interested to hear how you think. Yes, first female prime minister. No, we've never had a woman president in the United States, but she is as MAGA as it gets. Very, very right wing. So, is it a Good or bad? Well, how do you feel about this one?
MAGA feels more Japanese anyway in some ways.
That's kind of true, yeah.
I mean, like it's a more closed or conservative society in general, and it's more
little heartless.
heteronormative. It's a lot like there's just less. So like they were already on that end of the spectrum. Honestly, I just like that she listens to Iron Maiden. I mean, good to have a prime minister who listens to Iron Maiden.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
I'm gonna give this a 1. I actually think that the fact that one of the most conservative countries with almost no women in the C-suite and had to make rules to get any women on the boards of their companies managed to overcome their inherent sexism and misogyny and put a woman as the prime minister, no matter what her politics are. That's a big victory because you know what we couldn't do in the United States? We couldn't do that. We couldn't figure that out. I like it.
All right. Let's end with an AI speed round, which I know you're going to love.
No.
OpenAI blocks videos of Martin Luther King Jr. after racist depictions. Now, this is a broader category, really, where so OpenAI has a new tool out, I think called Sora, and the internet is just running amok with horrible misuse and just taking real people's likenesses and going crazy. And
I know this is a speed round, but I'm a little confused because I went on like this, like Sora, and tried to get a video of like, Mark Benioff. Like I tried to like make a picture of Mark Benioff for the zine.
And what happened?
And it said, "I'm sorry, we can't do pictures of public figures." And so I was like, "Can you do a picture of Matt Moscardi?" And it said, "Oh, we can't do Matt Moscardi." And I was like, "Can you do a picture of the podcast host for Business Pants who's a governance analyst?" And they were like, "Yes, I can do that." And I was like, "But that's me. That's Matt Moscardi." And they were like, "Yeah, we can't do Matt Moscardi." And
did you try this after they blocked?
Yeah, I tried this after because Trump has been dropping all these videos of himself putting on a crown and he just did one where he dropped literal shit on American cities from an airplane.
Right, because he is the American president. He represents all of us voters, I guess.
But how does he make that? I can't get by.
Here's why I included it in the bad game is because this stuff is just racing forward, people getting rich, and we don't have any clue how it's going to affect our culture. None.
This one is a 5.
Okay. AI speed round. Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian says, "So much of the internet is dead, and the rise of bots and quasi-AI LinkedIn slop killed it." What does that mean? Is LinkedIn
I don't know. Have you checked your LinkedIn feed?
So are they suggesting that half the stuff I see on LinkedIn is just like bot created?
I think it's just, but yeah, I think they're like, I get like added to people like all the time, and they are nothing. There's nothing. I don't have a connection with them, but they also just market. It's just nothing.
I'm interested how you're going to score this. Are you happy that the internet is dead, or are you upset about this quasi AI LinkedIn slop killing it?
I love that the internet is dead, and I love that Alex Ohanian says stuff. That's one billionaire I could listen to.
He usually actually says some pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, I give it a 0.
Sex could become the next big business opportunity for AI companies.
No, false. 10. That's the worst.
And how about this follow-up headline in the AI speed round? Sora, we just talked about Sora from OpenAI, might have a pervert problem on its hands.
Isn't that definitionally what OpenAI is? Like,
definitionally, it's all of the internet created by these college dropout boys who haven't emotionally developed after 7th grade. Yes, it's all of it. It's all of it. We need women involved with the creation of this.
Actually, if you
where are the women, man? Stop it.
You want to talk about a test that needs to exist? It needs to be a maturity test in which
please.
There's some objective way to measure your emotional maturity.
I wish.
And that is inversely correlated to how much money you're allowed to have. If you are an adult, you are allowed to make money like an adult. If you are a man baby, you are not allowed, you're capped.
Yeah,
Like there's only so much money you can make.
If the U.S. military is allowed to only find like warriors who want to kill brown people, why can't
no beardos.
Why can't the companies who represent society and employ society and create goods for society, why can't there be some kind of a maturity measure, right?
I would love an emotional maturity test. I think we wouldn't have Sora
What's your
anymore
score?
if we
What's your
did.
score on pervert problems?
Pervert problem. I find this kind of funny. I'm giving it a 0.
Oh. Meta employee creates, this one really got to me. This is like, it triggered me like Jeffrey Sonnenfeld. Meta employee creates AI app that deep fakes the dream vacation you couldn't afford. So here's the idea. Here's the idea. For all of us people who can't afford to go anywhere, Meta will create a simulated version of you, of like Matt Moscardi going to Venice, staying in a 5-star hotel. And I don't know if it's supposed to like help you lie to your friends that you went to do that, or it's supposed to make you look at the pictures and imagine that you did do it, so you don't have to feel bad that you're too poor to do it. I don't know what it is, but wow, this one really got to me. I really didn't like
this one's bad.
This is bad.
I mean, imagine going up to your friends at like the next barbecue and being like, "Hey, how was the trip to Venice that you took? What do you say?"
Yeah.
Like, what do you do then? Like, do you say
lie.
like, "Oh, it was beautiful,"
You lie
or
to
do
yourself,
you say like,
you
"Oh,
lie
that
to
was an
them.
AI joke"?
Yeah. No, I think it might be a joke maybe today, but I think in 6 months,
I would get it if it's a joke, like ironic, right? Like, isn't it funny how poor
that's
we
not
are?
where our culture's heading. No,
I know it's not. I'm gonna give this a 7 because it's gonna get worse. I feel like I shouldn't give it a 10.
Zuck, what are they up to? I mean, this is bad. It's just bad.
Emotional maturity, 6th grade or 8th
bad.
grade? 6th
Walmart,
or 8th? Moving
on in the AI speed round to end this horrible bad game for October 21st, 2025. Walmart's deal with ChatGPT should worry every e-commerce small business. Your website is living on borrowed time in the age of AI.
No, I think that's overstated. I'm going to give it a 2.
Meta is asking Facebook users to give its AI access to their entire camera roll.
Come on, they've already taken it. Like, I like that they're pretending to ask now. I'm giving it a 2.
I don't know about this in the US, but when they do things like this, do you have to opt into this or do you have to opt out?
Usually you opt out, and by the time you've opted out, they've taken it all anyway.
And is it the opposite in Europe? Like you have to opt in?
Yeah.
Like they're actually protecting the users in Europe?
In general, yeah, you're not allowed to use anything unless somebody opts in. And sometimes you can't use it even if they opt in.
Good work, Zuck. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says, I love this. I love when Jamie Dimon says anything. AI will eliminate jobs and people should stop sticking their heads in the sand. He's kind of worried about it, I guess.
Who's the people? Who's the people?
I don't know. CEOs? I don't know. Who's he talking to?
Is he talking to me? Are you talking to me, Jamie?
That's a good question.
We know. We're the ones who are worried about it. You guys are the ones funding it. Like, you guys are making it so that I don't have a job. And what? I'm not the one with who's got their head in the sand?
What's your
this
score
is
on that
dumb. I'm giving this a 5 for dumbness.
The real danger of AI in education isn't cheating. It's dependency on big tech algorithms, a business professor warns.
That's correct.
Yes, I thought that was a astute opinion because you're often seeing the AI companies themselves getting all like they're shocked that students are using their software to cheat. But I think this is the bigger problem: is that we're essentially handing over the effort of our brain to these companies, saying like, I'm not going to bother doing my own research. I'm not going to bother, preparing for this test. I'm not going to bother reading this book. I'm going to let the algorithm kind of help me get to the finish line, right?
Yuval Harari's last book, it's called Nexus, was about basically how we've outsourced our thinking to algorithms. We basically, how we just said that like Zuck has the emotional maturity of a 7th grader? We've basically said, well, let's let the 7th grader tell us what all things are true via his algorithm. So he's right. I'm going to give him a 0 for being right.
This reminds me of this story I loved when I was a kid. about a runner in the Boston Marathon. Her name was Rosie Ruiz. She was crowned the female winner of the 1980 race, but was later disqualified because it discovered that she had likely cut the course. She'd basically gotten dropped off at the end of the course, and it was found out because she wasn't sweating and she lacked proper racing gear. So that's basically where we're at, right?
Jeans.
Yeah. That's basically where we're at. Like, I feel, who I pity? I pity teachers and professors. Like, I don't know how they're supposed to like wrestle with this.
You just shut down the internet. Just shut it down.
Like there should be like I don't know what the term is, but like a firewall or something like on campuses.
They do in a lot of schools. They
how are you supposed to know? They're
they
all Rosie
jammers.
Ruizes. They're all non-sweating marathon runners now.
But the argument against shutting down the internet or jammers at schools is someone could show up with a gun. So only in
give
America,
them walkie-talkies or something. I don't know.
Only in America.
Yeah.
Is this like
Give
the
them
problem
flip
that we
phones.
have? Like we can just turn off the internet everywhere else because we're not worried someone's going to shoot the whole school.
Or how about we just legislate guns away out of try to get them out of our people's hands?
Give that a shot. That's been so successful.
What score did you give for that one? You gave it a low score.
I gave it a 0 because I like that. The guy said
and
it.
Finally, on the bad game for October 21st, 2025 on Business Pants, this last headline in the AI speed round, an ex-OpenAI research. It's always an ex-Open. How come the people who are still at OpenAI are never doing good work? An ex-OpenAI researcher's study of a 1 million-word ChatGPT conversation shows how quickly AI psychosis can take hold and how chatbots can sidestep safety guardrails. I mean, that I know this sounds horrible, but that the end part is what got me. Of course, like, how could you even set up a safety guardrail for AI, right? Because couldn't they always figure out a way to kind of sidestep it?
I mean, like sometimes it's easy. I haven't spent a lot of time doing this, but like I wanted to make a picture of something, like I said, and I ended up finding some language that was like, give me a billionaire tech CEO who's like among the richest people in the world who owns an EV company, and it just showed me a picture of Elon Musk, right? like it was like,
yeah.
But if I ask for Elon Musk, it's like I can't do that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's got ways around things. I know.
What do you think?
I
about
think they're talking about something worse than what I'm doing.
I know. What do you think about how quick we can get into AI psychosis land? And the fact that we have like college dropouts like Sam Altman who are creating these systems.
I'm more worried about the human psychosis that goes along with using AI than the
so you're
AI
just worried
psychosis.
about all kinds of psychosis. Okay,
I'm just worried about, the humans can come to my house and kill me right now. The AI can't yet. Eventually it will. But I'm going to give this a 5 as a future worse things.
Your score, is a very low, a 4.3, a 4. That's a nice low score.
Yeah, but on the bad game, that means it's basically a 6, which is the good game.
Wait, what are you talking about? What?
The bad game's the inverse, so it's basically the same score.
But it makes me feel that life isn't that bad, right? Maybe. Is it?
Well, the 10s were the 10iest 10s you've ever had. They were pretty bad. That's Hazelnut Rawless. I'm your analyst, Matt Mascari. We are Free Float. Come back on Friday when we wrap up the week. We've got a show tomorrow for shareholder primacy that we've got queued up. We're going to launch that. And what else do we have? That's it. We got stuff. Just go.
Friday show.
Go to Friday show, freeflowanalytics.com. Go do it. We got a proxy countdown this week. There's so much going on. Until then, goodbye.